everyone, welcome to my channel. I am the Female Phenom. This is the start of the vlog series, The Adventures of Aussie Pants. As you all know, I have a 3-year-old, will soon to be 4 within a couple of weeks in April. He has been diagnosed with autism. He's on the autism spectrum. So just to give you an idea of what you will see in the videos to come, what we're basically doing is the Adventures of Aussie Pants, where you will see what I go through on a daily basis, what his therapy appointments are like, how he's progressing, which he is doing so good. He's doing so much better than what he did before with the therapy. At this moment, he is in speech therapy, he is in behavioral therapy, and we're on the waiting list for physical therapy and for him to see a nutritionist. He also is going through therapy for occupational therapy, where he learns how to, say, for instance, like pick up objects and how to use certain objects with his fingers correctly. So to give you a little background about our story, Austin was born premature at 30 weeks. He was born premature at 30 weeks. I was a high risk patient due to hypertension. So I had to be hospitalized. I was on bed rest with him and I had to be hospitalized, and they took him early. During that process, we were basically at that time watching for signs for him for a developmental delay. Because 9 times out of 10, or what happens normally is babies who are born prematurely, they are a little bit behind from other kids, but not too far behind where it would cause, some suspicion or affect their growth or their learning disabilities or certain milestones. So at 2 months, he was being evaluated. He had a nurse come. At 1 month, at 1 month, he was being evaluated, had a nurse come. Everything was fine. He was meeting his milestones, all of the above. But then there became certain situations, like around 6 months, where he wouldn't sleep. He would cry for really long times. He would do things where he would wave his hands and he would wave his arms. I knew in the back of my mind that something was different about Austin, but I thought that it was maybe because he was born premature, or maybe it was because it was something that was all in my head. And I didn't want to have a lot of doctors bothering him, or me becoming a hypochondriac, or you'll see him running in the background. Sorry. um, I become a hypochondriac, or I'm overreacting. I have a 14-year-old. No problems with him. He met all of his milestones. He did everything that he was supposed to do, but I noticed there was a difference between him and Austin. Austin said, maybe he wasn't saying words like mama, dada, anything like that. He wasn't picking up certain toys or holding his bottle the way that normal kids should. He actually crawled longer. He actually started crawling, and then it was like he reached a point where I'm like, oh my God, he's not going to walk by his first birthday. And he was crawling. And then sure enough, the day before his birthday, he stood up and he just started running. So I'm like, okay, nothing is wrong with him. He's fine. But then I noticed, like his peers, like his cousins. I had a friend who had who has 3 daughters, and I was noticing certain things that they were doing and he wasn't doing. So then I decided to take him to infants and toddlers here in Baltimore, Maryland, where I live. They did a series of tests. I can say to anyone who is new, the test is very overwhelming at first, when they just do an evaluation to see they weren't doing an evaluation to see if he was autistic. They were doing an evaluation to see if he was, delayed developmentally, which is a form of autism. Um, it was very overwhelming at first. It was a team of a psychiatrist, and then they had like different therapists and different doctors around. I think it was like a total of, including myself and his caseworker, it was a total of like 7 people in the room. And each one specializes in motor skills or speech therapy, things that he should be advanced at, or things that he should be at his certain age, and he wasn't. So after the test, I had never heard about autism. I've never heard, especially within the African American community, I've never heard about autism. I've never heard about this special need. So once it hit me that he needed to be further tested, I started doing research. I started Googling. I started looking at YouTube videos. Oh my God, there's a couple of YouTube moms on here that I forgot. I'm not going to mention them because I don't want to talk about them without giving them credit. There was a couple of moms that I saw and that I watched, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh my God, he's doing the same thing. And then I had to mentally prepare myself for the evaluation. To anyone who is getting an evaluation done, it can be scary at first, but do your research so that you're prepared and you know what to expect. I'm one of them people where I Google everything. I Google up symptoms. I Google everything. But for this particular time, because I was scared, I really didn't do too much. I looked at it and it was like, okay, I need to stop. This is enough. I should have done it a little bit more to mentally prepare myself, but also I'm glad I didn't, because I learned that each child is different. There are different levels of the spectrum. So Austin is considered on the spectrum high functioning autism, where he's verbal, but there's still some things that we need to work on. The evaluation is scary. It's overwhelming. Luckily, it was just one person there this time, so I felt a little bit comfortable, but I was a little bit worried because in the back of my mind, I already knew what the diagnosis was going to be, already knew what was going to happen, but I was trying to remain positive, and I was trying to make sure that I'm calm so I can take in all the information, everything that I needed to learn, everything that I needed to be prepared for. The one mistake that I didn't make was taking someone with me. If you have a support system, that's awesome. Not many people have support systems, so I didn't have anyone to go with me, which was kind of hard. Make sure that you take someone with you so that you will be able, somebody might have questions that you forget to ask. Someone might be, sorry if I'm looking over, Austin is in there playing with his brother, so I hear certain things I have to look over. Make sure that, because once you're in that moment, there are things that you're going to forget. There are things that you're not going to remember that is being said to you. There are things that you're going to forget that needs to be written down. So make sure that you take someone with you if you can, so that you are able to have support and have that backup of memory while you're there. What they did, and what I like, which is kind of normal, what I like is that they do therapy through play. Children identify more through play, through toys. It's easier for them to respond or be engaged, which is awesome. Whoever came up with that idea is amazing. So they did certain tests. They wanted to test how he responds to certain things, certain touches, conversation, direction, multi-word direction, multi-question directions, etc. They go through a series of tests. The exam is very long. The testing is very long. Your child must be diagnosed by a child psychiatrist. anyone that tells you that your child is not autistic, please, I mean, anyone that tells you that your child is anyone that tells you that your child is autistic and they are not a child psychiatrist or therapist should not be giving that diagnosis. Make sure that you listen to all the directions that are given to you because it's very helpful. What's the matter? He's coming back. He was sad because his brother walked out of the room to give me my Amazon package. Um, so after that, he's diagnosed. They tell you what steps you need to take, how to set up therapy, how to apply for ABA services, how to apply for SSI if you need it, things of that nature. Um, then we start the therapy. We started infants and toddlers at home, and what they did was they came to the home like every week, once a day for about an hour or so, and then they did certain things, and then at the end of that they do an evaluation where they feel like if he needs to continue services or if he needs to continue to have therapy, or if we need to do something else, if we need to do something that's more beneficial to him to help him advance. What that is called is an IEP meeting. Um, when I went there with his dad. We were there for maybe about an hour or so. At that meeting, they determined if he needed home skills, home care, or if we wanted to move towards a school setting. I'm not going to lie, it's scary. That's my baby. He's special needs. He can't tell me if someone is hurting him. He can't tell me if someone is doing something to him. So I was a little bit anxious about that. But once I took in consideration, this is good for him. This is going to help him with cognitive skills. Cognitive skills are him being responsive to feelings, emotions, socialization skills. This is good for him. We decided on that step where he's going to go to a school, awesome school, awesome school, where they have children in the classroom who are dealing with the same thing that he is, some who is autistic, some who has special needs, some who has developmental delays. So he's around children that get him. He's around teachers who specialize in that area, educators who specialize in that area and who can help him and literally dedicate the time to give Austin the time that he needs and help him succeed, meet certain goals. The one thing that we're struggling with right now is potty training. Luckily, the school has potty time where they take the children to the potty and try to teach them ways to go to the potty. Um, Unfortunately, Austin uses the potty at school, but he doesn't use it at home. We are now on a schedule. Sometimes that schedule works, sometimes it doesn't, but we're working with that with the behavioral specialist right now. So, that's just the gist of where we're at right now. Before we were, if you're watching this right now, you understand the current events that are happening in the world today with the coronavirus. We are staying inside as instructed, as you should too. Both of my children are asthmatic. Austin hasn't been officially diagnosed with asthma, but I'm almost certain he's going to get it because the same symptoms that my oldest had, he has. So I don't want to run a risk of respiratory issues or something being fatal. Fingers crossed, hopefully not. Anyway, I'm going off track. But to piggyback off of that, right now we haven't been in office for appointments. What they've been doing, thank goodness, Kennedy Krieger has been doing video chats so that Austin cannot miss out on his appointments. He has a lot of appointments during the week, so he needs these and he needs to stay in his routine. A lot of autistic kids need to be in routine. They need to have a routine. They need to stick to that routine. If not, everything is out of whack. Hence, school being out. The first week was a bit rough. Um, Austin is used to getting up, brushing his teeth, going to school to see his friends, going to see his teacher, coming home, eating a snack, doing his homework, taking a nap, and then we do the same. Oh, and then eat, take a shower, and then we do the same thing all over again. The first week was kind of rough. Austin didn't understand. No, we're not getting on the bus. No, we're not going to go see Miss Lena, his teacher, who is amazing. No, we can't go to school today. You're staying home with mommy. You're staying home with Nate. That was rough. Finally, by the second week on a Thursday, he was able to understand, okay, this is the new norm. This is what's going to happen. So now we're working with the behavioral specialist on how to keep that routine of his school schedule and how to properly prepare for if school reopens and get him back on track. His speech therapist, the reason why Austin needs speech therapy, he can talk, but he doesn't understand how to communicate. He doesn't understand how to put certain words together and to use them in a sentence. So we're working with speech to try to figure out to get him on the right track with that. What we touched on this week with behavior therapy is how to keep him in routine, how to minimize his meltdowns. I cannot stress this enough. Tantrums and meltdowns are used the same, but they are not the same. Austin gets frustrated when he cannot communicate something to you. Austin gets frustrated when something is out of the norm. Austin gets frustrated when something that has touched him that he's not familiar with or doesn't know what it is or doesn't know how to express how it makes him feel. He has a meltdown. So we're working on his meltdowns, his behavior, not to hit himself, not to hit others, not to not to get so frustrated, be able to express his emotions through talking and realize that there are consequences for things that are not nice. There are consequences for things that you can't do. You can't get things because of a tantrum. You can't get things because of a meltdown. With speech therapy this week, we touched on how to get him to learn his name. When someone asks him, "Who are you? How old are you?" Who's that? Is that mommy? Is that daddy? We've also learned how to get him to have a conversation. Austin says, "I like Cheetos." And then someone says to Austin, "I like Cheetos." And then Austin responds back, "Me too." And he identifies, "I'm saying me too because I like it too." We're getting him to identify his emotions. Austin does a thing where if you're telling him something, if you're telling him something important, or if you're trying to get him to understand something, he totally deflects, or he doesn't know how to respond. So he just says whatever he's thinking just to know, well, I'm communicating with you because you're talking to me. For example, if I tell Austin, okay, it's time to clean up, you have to go clean up. Sometimes it's 90% of the time stubborn because it's bedtime or because he doesn't want to do it because he's doing something else. But it's that large percent of the time where he doesn't understand this is what's happening. This is the routine now. The other day, we have a dog named Burrito. Austin pulled Burrito's tail. And I said to him, "Austin, you can't do that. Don't pull Burrito's tail." His response is, "I want to watch WrestleMania WWE." And I repeated it. He then repeated what he said because he knows that he's supposed to reply to me and say something back. But what the speech therapist told me to say is, "I understand you want to watch WrestleMania, but that's not nice to pull Burrito's tail. That's wrong." So I'm learning as well how to... I'm sorry, guys. I'm learning as well how to make sure that he understands what he's supposed to do, what he's not supposed to do. This is a conversation that mommy is having with you because you did something that was not right, or you did something that's not nice. Um, I'm sorry, guys. So we're learning that. Um, like I said, I'm trying to. This is the start of this channel, so I'm trying to keep. I'm going to try to keep up to date as much as possible. Um, I'm going to try to make sure that I keep you guys in the loop of things, any changes or anything like that. Austin's sleeping schedule is back rocky again. Children with autism do not have a normal sleep schedule. So I've been told that I could offer him melatonin, but now the melatonin is starting to like not phase him. So our sleep schedules are off, and I am in school, and I have an older child and a dog, and I stream also as my regular job, I guess. Just to have something to do outside of all the mom stuff. So that's what I do for a living. I stream as well. I play video games, talk about autism awareness, which is coming up next month, which is Autism Awareness Month. So we're going to be doing more things. You're going to see more things on Twitch. You're going to see more things in YouTube as far as with Austin, just to get a better idea of what we're going through and how we do things on a daily basis. If you guys have any questions, or if you guys can think of anything that you would like to see, or anything that you would like for me to make a video on to get a better understanding of this, or to get an idea of what we go through on a day-to-day basis, please put them in the comments below. If you are interested in this series and you would like to see more, please like and subscribe and share this video with everyone, because everyone needs to know about this, especially within the African American community. We don't talk about it as much. We don't have all of the resources as much. I will also link below some great groups to Kennedy Krieger has a support group for moms here in Maryland. I don't know if you guys have one where you are, but if you don't, please, it's so needed to have moms around you to love on you and support you, that understand what you are going through. Talk to someone who is going through the same thing that you are going through. Not everybody is going to understand, and that's okay. You can use that as a time for education. You can use that as a time to get people to understand, this is what I need for support from you. This is what is needed for me to get you to understand what I'm going through. This is what I need from you as far as help. A lot of people want to offer help and offer support, but they don't know how. So this is a great tool of education for you to get people to understand and see where you're coming from and where you're going through. And if they don't, that's okay. There are other moms like me. There are other moms who are going through the same thing, that would be there to listen and be there to vent. I also want to touch on my experience with this so far. My experience so far has been challenging. It has taught me patience. It has taught me understanding. And in a way, it's taught me that this world can be mean. This world can be cruel, and sometimes people are hateful and mean to things that they don't understand. Sometimes people say things and they don't know that they're hurting your feelings, or they're hurting how you feel. I've ran into certain so many things that have hurt my feelings when I'm streaming, when I'm going to Walmart. You're going to get the dirty looks. You're going to say, oh, your child is bad. You're going to get, oh, he needs a nap. Oh, if it was my child, I would do this. It's hard. I'm still learning how to deal with it. I'm still learning how to ignore it. But I know one day I'll get to a place where I won't go to my car and cry. I know one day that I'll get to a place where I won't get so angry, and I'll be able to turn to that person and say, you know what? He's autistic, and this is what happens. This is what's going on. If you would like to know more about this, here's my YouTube channel, here's my Facebook, so you can see. I've had certain instances where people have called him retarded or called him bad or said that he needs his butt whipped. He's been videotaped recently, which is horrible. So those are the many things that I go through. But luckily, I have a family that I've met through Twitch. I have friends that I've met through Twitch, through Kennedy Krieger, through Austin School, and they are amazing. I wouldn't be able to do this without them. My oldest son, I wouldn't be able to do some of the things that I have to do or I would like to do without him. Him being 14 and being so wise and so helpful and so patient and understanding with his little brother is a blessing. So if you have that support system, it's okay for you to welcome them with open arms. If you don't, please let me know. Please message me. Please put in the comments below, and I can properly direct you. If I don't have the answers, I will definitely find them for you to make sure that you have them, because this is hard. It's hard, but it gets easier to manage. It gets easier to deal with proper therapy. And the fact that if you find out early, it makes it easier as well because now you know what's wrong. Now you know how to handle it, and now you know what to do. So enough rambling. That's the backstory. Welcome to the adventures of Aussie Pants. I hope you guys enjoy. Please spread the word about this. Please let everyone know that autism is not a disability. It just means that they are just awesome in their own little world. And I look forward to making more videos. I can't wait to share our experiences with you all, with me and my family. Please be kind to each other and yourselves. If you like this, once again, please subscribe and like. I will try my best to respond to all of your comments, and I look forward to seeing you guys again. Please be safe during this time as well, and stay inside. It's important. I love you guys. See you next time.